Hey everyone, Mia here again. So today I'm really excited to talk to you about team sourcing, which is 10x outsourcing for your business. So this is something that's my baby and I'm super passionate about talking about. Really, this is for people that are stuck between having growth in their company and freedom in their life. So this sounds like you, then this video is for you. So let's get started. So recently I was at an event where there were a lot of entrepreneurs and they were great marketers, and I didn't realize that there were other entrepreneurs that weren't like me. So I've worked really hard to create a business that's sustainable, scalable, and replicable. But there's a lot of businesses out there, a lot of influencers out there, a lot of great marketers have created businesses where they're great at doing launches, they're great at creating cash flow, but they really haven't figured out a way to create value in their company where their business can run without them, or someday they can sell it and get money for the value of their company. And so what I realized is there's kind of a gap in the way a lot of businesses are running now and the way I've always thought businesses should be. And so in this video, I really want to talk to you about how to kind of close that gap with team sourcing. So to start, let me just go a little bit of the backstory of team sourcing and how it evolved. So I worked at a CPA firm back in the day. This was back in 2006, so it's been a while. But my background's in accounting and finance. And I say that loosely because I am in no way, shape, or form an accountant. I'm very much an entrepreneur. But when I was working for those CPA firms, I got thrown in working with different businesses. And as I started meeting with a bunch of business owners, I realized that a lot of them were tired. They kind of lost that spark that comes with entrepreneurship. And I started to think like, man, if I want to be an entrepreneur, I don't want to be unhappy like they are. So how do I solve some of the problems that they're having in their business? And so that's kind of when I got into my entrepreneurial mode and I started thinking of ways that I could help them. And so I was like, oh, I could do virtual bookkeeping for them. And then I started to think about, back in the day, actually a lot more front desk people. So I was like, oh, the front desk person a lot of times does the bookkeeping, and so I better answer their phones too. That way I can take over that entire position and that entire role. So I started a telephone answering service company, and back in the day, I didn't realize that call centers was a thing. I thought it was very unique and proprietary with creating this telephone answering service company. And it was unique for small businesses and medium businesses. Really, it was a lot of times these solutions were out there for enterprise level clients. And there wasn't really a way to offer solutions to the small and medium business. And so that's kind of when I quit my job, started to work on how to solve problems that we're having as entrepreneurs. And that's really the only question I've asked for these last 15 years. I've asked, how do I solve the problems that we're having as entrepreneurs? And really, that's really how the team sourcing model has grown and evolved to what it is today. So that's what I'm excited to share with you. So let's go ahead and deep dive into team sourcing. So in my story, I kind of left off where I started a telephone answering service company. And then as we started to build that part of the company up, the virtual assistant movement had kind of taken off. And so I started to think like, hey, I probably should start doing some administrative work for companies as well. And so what happened was I went and approached one of my bookkeeping clients and I said, hey, we're looking to start up a virtual assistant arm. And he had used virtual assistants before. And so he was all on board and said, yep, I'm in. I want to use you guys for that. And so we had a couple people working on his account. It grew to about a $10,000 a month account. And we did all kinds of things for him. We did customer onboarding. We did his podcasts, show notes for that. We did daily stand-ups for them, all kinds of different work, administrative work for him. And it was great for a while. And then what happened was this client got a little bit more difficult to work with. And I kept him as part of our company for as long as I could because I was like, there's something I'm supposed to learn from this client. I didn't know what yet. So we just kept moving along. And but he started to use the words. The reason why it got difficult was he kept using words like, hey, I demand perfection. And if any of you have ever grown a team, you know that anybody that says the word, if you say this to an employee, it will cripple them and they will actually start to make mistakes. Because what does perfection really mean? We don't really, it's subjective to whoever's saying it. And so what happened was the two people on his account actually quit back to back. And so what was interesting is that it kind of threw our whole company in a tailspin. And we were trying to save the account, but we literally, all the process we had was some Trello boards, and we're trying to figure out, okay, what do we do for them? Because we've always had the philosophy we didn't want work to fall back on the business owner. And so we thought we were doing the right things. I literally had redundancy. I had two people on his account. We had some Trello documentation, but I realized like that wasn't even enough. And to me, the biggest thing is turnover in business. When a business has turnover, that is what halts and kills momentum. And so I just realized that we have to figure out how to create companies that are scalable, sustainable, and replicable and get it to where the turnover doesn't fall back on them. So what I did after this situation was I went and hired a process engineer, because we were really people heavy, right? We knew how to do the work in our heads and through a couple Trello boards, but we didn't have a lot of great documentation. I thought that was the problem, right? So I went and hired a process engineer. We spent tons of time trying to save this count, documenting things. And the interesting thing happened. So I feel like business is sometimes like whack-a-mole. You like solve one thing and another thing pops up and you're like, oh, I gotta go solve that one now. And so what we ended up doing was literally swinging the pendulum all the way to the other side, where we were so process heavy, like we didn't know how to make decisions anymore. And one of our core values in our company is get it done, and it's for this reason, because I'm like, I don't know, just go get it done. Like, as an entrepreneur, you don't understand how you get process by process, because we just see the whole big picture, right? I've become much more patient. You're gonna notice in these videos, I might use this phrase a lot, where I have to sit on my hands. So this is an example where I sat on my hand as an entrepreneur and kind of started to just see what happened. Again, we wanted to just see what was breaking. Okay, so now that we had grown this virtual assistant, one of the biggest takeaways from this experience was that we needed redundancy. I already knew that, but I already had that in place, and that didn't solve the problem. And so I said, okay, we needed better process. And that is a big key piece. And so we started to solve that. But there was more than that. The thing is with a virtual assistant, you have one person trying to become a jack of all trades. And there's just no way that one person can do everything. And honestly, people are getting to the point where they don't want to have to become an expert in everything. I mean, we have a gazillion YouTube videos. We all can learn it. The problem isn't that we can't learn it. It's just like, what do we want to do, right? And so what I realized is we needed more specialized teams. Again, having the right people in the right seats, doing the right thing. We needed more process, more redundancy, but also the way our teams were structured. So one of the things we're working on right now as part of this team sourcing model is the way having different types of teams. So we've created more of a pre-built, kind of what I call a lightweight team, where we actually, instead of reinventing the wheel with every business, we say, okay, what are the things that every business owner needs for this program or project? And we literally are creating a process for that thing. So every time a customer buys that thing, it spits out a process for it, and we can then go implement it. And so there's so many components of business that are the same. It's like, why are we reinventing the wheel with every business? And so really what I want to dig in today is 3 different areas of team sourcing and kind of deep dive into those a little bit. So really the first one is around scalability, the second one is around sustainability, and the third is around replicability. Okay, so to really emphasize these 3 points, I first want you to visualize a kind of a pie chart where it's kind of split with 80% and 20%. So think about your business, your core offering is like the 20%. And then the other part of the pie chart is the 80%. And think of that 80% as like every business has to go through it. And I've stress tested this with Fortune 500 clients all the way down to startups and across multiple industries. And really it can be argued that at least, I would say even probably more than this, at least 80% is the same in every business. And so what team sourcing allows you to do is hyper-focus on your 20%, and then team sourcing is taking that 80%, and we're literally just trying to find the patterns that businesses go through and then solve them and then automate them and create processes and efficiencies around that. So that really is the nutshell of what team sourcing is. So when you think about scalable, really it is a way to create an impact at a rate faster than the rate at which your cost or your effort increases. So that's really, if you think about what a scalable company is. And so really it's around efficiency, right? How do I become more efficient with the things that I am doing? And one way to do that is by not reinventing the wheel. So team sourcing helps solve that by allowing you to hyper-focus on yours. And again, I talk about this all the time. You need speed, agility, and responsiveness. In order to be able to have speed and to move fast, you need to be able to hyper-focus on your core. So the other cool thing is that because team sourcing is really multiple departments, so marketing, sales, omni support, technology, accounting, and light fulfillment, it allows us to be pretty strategic with your company, and you're able to kind of hire fractional people in all of those different skills. So you think about what it would take for you to hire all of those different people within your company. With team sourcing, you're able to just hire for that fraction and get all of those different skill sets. Because the virtual assistant model was great in theory, but the thing is that you can't have one person be an expert in it. And then you think about what creates a sustainable company is really having backups, right? And it's virtual assistant is a one-on-one relationship. If they quit, it falls back on you. Even when you hire in-house, a lot of times that turnover that you get from employees, it's so hard to get the depth that you need and the skills that you need. And so that's really how to create that scalable component. Okay, so let's talk about sustainable. Really, this is you're able to maintain the rate at which you're increasing. And I'll kind of give you an example of what this means, because We have a client that's been with us for probably 8 years now. I've been in business now for 15 years. So some of these clients, I literally have a client that's been with us for 12 years. My first phone answering client is still with us today. So that's kind of a crazy. So you think about sustainability. I have a client that literally has outsourced all of their support tickets to us. And then they launched this service with us about 7 years ago. We have maybe a meeting a month to go over the data and the analytics related to it. But other than that, it kind of runs itself. To me, that is sustainability. It's able to kind of keep running and allows you to, again, innovate. Everything I talk about is how do you keep focusing on your core and hyper innovate there, because that is what's going to give you massive growth. And so, support tickets, it's the same no matter the business. And so I've had people come to me as like, well, what industries do you service? It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, we literally have a Fortune 500 client all the way down to a startup. They all need their social medias, social posts done. They need their phones answered. They need emails responded to. Like, all these things are the same. And so it's really finding those patterns and saying, okay, how do we solve that on a massive scale? So it creates that economies of scale that is not possible when you're a smaller company. Before we go back to the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you want to find out how to put your business on autopilot and grow faster and easier than ever before while actually freeing up your time, then this is the channel for you. We'll be sharing videos about how to get your business to run without you so that you can do what you're best at using my unique team sourcing methodology. Want to find out how to attract and retain the best team? This is for you. Want to find out which areas you need to put staff in first and how to find them? Then this is for you as well. Want to become one of the few business owners who ends up growing a company that sets them free rather than traps them in the golden cage? This is for you. So please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share with any of your friends that you think will benefit the most. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so now let's talk about the third point, which is replicable. And this is when it gets kind of fun, because literally replicable means you're just kind of copying and pasting. And so a good example is we have a really large client that scales really fast when they implement a program with us. And so literally they launched this program, or actually the software, which is actually a portal for their clients. And they said, hey, we forgot, we need somebody to help support this portal, like phone answering and things like that. And so we literally launched a program with them, I think within 3 days. And it got to where within a month we had to scale 20 employees for this program. They were notorious for not giving us a lot of time when they launched things, but we whipped it together and we're able to literally rinse and repeat. So as we were able to just kind of expand and grow at a big scale. And that makes it super fun because as you're growing through the different phases of your business, you're going to start to find patterns and you're going to say, okay, how can we rinse and repeat this? Hey, this growth strategy is working. How can we grow and make that? And that's when you can start to put your business on autopilot. So you found your core product. You're now getting it to, we're able to get it to grow. And now you're able to take those things and say, let's get these portions autopiloted. And then as visionary entrepreneurs, I just want to put this little plug in here, is we love to see squirrels and shiny objects and we love to come up with new ideas. But like, again, sit on your hands until you get that first core product all the way through where now you're starting to create replicable, efficient automations and autopilot scenarios for your business. And then you can go back to the drawing board and like, let's go and create another idea. And this is where innovation becomes fun because now you can go and create another product that supports your core product or create a whole different business altogether and then run the same system through. And so that's in these videos, what I'm going to talk a lot about is really how to not reinvent the wheel. Let's just go through this process depending on where you're at in your business, run it through, get it going, and then let's go and come up with another idea. But I see so many entrepreneurs come up with way too many ideas and they never really focus and they're all over the place. And so with these videos, I want to kind of walk you through a framework and a pathway to get your business to run without you, get you that time, and get you that, what I call stress-free super growth. So again, as entrepreneurs, we love new ideas and new products, but you just need to be doing things at the right time. And so if you want to really just get started with team sourcing, we can figure out where you're at in your business, whether you're in the growth, foundation, or momentum stage. And we literally have a product that will support you in those different phases of business. And so if you want to learn more, it's free to apply. You can go to discoverteamsourcing.com and you can go and apply to become a partner with us at the Centr is the name of our company. And team sourcing is the model that we've built. And really, once you apply, you can actually get on a free strategy call with us as well. And so we're really excited to work with you. So if you're interested in learning more, go to discoverteamsourcing.com.